pain.
Are you ready? I ain't was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Hey, you being with me, that's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go! Way pop!
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you
Perfect.
for playing, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
¡Wepa! Muy buenos días, Dominical, aquí con el trío de los tres locos amigos, coffee in hand, Sunday morning recap with lots of stuff that happened this weekend. As always, guys, we are LongLiveBoxing EnVivo Podcast Money. Siempre en vivo, Marrero.
Sean el Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should be. Appreciate you guys tuning in this morning. Hey, if you're listening from the comfort of your bed, hey, fantastic. It's a great weekend in boxing. Appreciate you guys' support. Please continue to like and share all good stuff, man. We got a lot of stuff for you. Episode 108 is out. Check it out. Those predictions, man. EnVivo Podcast continues to bam and wow and analyze them and breaking it down just like you want it, man. It's like you deserve it. Sin pelos en la lengua. Ya lo sabe.
Absolutely, man. So welcome to the weekly recap reactions. And there's a lot of recapping and reaction going on.
A lot to talk
Hey, yo. So here we go, getting into it. Thanks for tuning in on the YouTube, Facebook, and those listen to the audio version. So let's get into it, brother. So without question, this had a lot of fights to keep track of. And I got a one-track mind. I want to see all that shit. And I tried my best. And it started off with a bing, bang, boogity, bang. There we go. Triple G. Hot diggity damn.
All excitement here except for one person in this panel. That's okay.
Let's go ahead and start with the man, the myth, the legend.
I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful talking. I gotta be careful talking Triple G, because then I'm gonna have the good boy gang all up on me attacking me.
No. You can talk Triple G. You can talk Triple G. Just get your hat off from like he won't beat Canelo in September. Just talk Triple G only.
I mean, he won't. Is there anything else you wanna?
No.
I mean, what else do we talk about Triple G? When we talk Triple G, it's pretty much synonymous with Canelo. I mean. So, but I mean, he won. He got the job done. He did what he was supposed to do. He looked like shit the first 4 rounds, and he looked like a 40-year-old boxer. And then, even when he settled down, he was still getting tagged. He was still getting hit. And Triple G is Father Time's undefeated. It's catching up with him. Shout out to that boy Jimmy Blue, who takes the Triple G Canelo debates to a very personal level. I mean, it's shout out to you, Mr. Jimmy Blue.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, let's shout out to everybody in the chat before we dig deeper. So Stephen Ruiz, much love. Thanks for tuning in. G Funky in his house. Good call on Triple G versus Murata Manny. I went 3-0 with my picks. Shout out to you, brother. And the source is in the house. The source. Kano Local Sports.
Saludo, papi.
Johnny Blue. Jimmy Blue, my bad. Jaime Garza is in the house. HLD. Man, here we go. And JC's in the house. Man, Stephen Ruiz is coming out with swinging triple old. All right, so
triple whack.
That's the interesting take as far as like, so basically, Hopper, you weren't impressed, so the job got done, but you don't take away from it as far as like.
Manny. I mean, come on, Manny. You didn't even answer my question on the face. Was he cherry picking or nah? I mean, was he cherry picking or?
So my question. I want to start with this, and shout out to
He got the job done. He got the job done. He did what he was supposed to do. I mean, we can't plan a parade for the guy. He beat a guy that lost to Ndam and Rob Brand. Okay, great. You did what you're supposed to do against a cherry-picked, hand-selected opponent that you wanted to fight. So now he has to show up against Canelo in September, and unfortunately, I can't really see that going too well for Mr. Triple Head, Triple Whack, Triple Sauce.
All right. So love the passion there. And the references to cherries had me hungry. Thank you for that. All right. So, Manny, what's your thoughts as far as your takeaways? Were you impressed? Did you stay awake? Did you take the advice of our good friend Nancy and go coffee and Bailey's?
Absolutely. And shout out to Danny PR70. El Primo was here early enough, 6 in the morning. We were rocking it that morning. Yes, I had my coffee and a couple of Baileys, and then we started the little Tito's in the side. It was very good, man. Just like I planned and just like I expected. And I'm pretty excited about this. So here's the deal. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Hopper, how old is Triple G?
40 years old.
Okay. Sean, do you agree?
It's a proven fact.
Mean,
okay. How long? Second question. Dude, just listen to me. How long has Triple G hasn't fought?
Are you making excuses for him?
No. Just answer the question. Answer the question.
Since what? December 2020.
Answer the question. Right. It's been
December
a while.
2020 when he fought another cherry filler fight. What's his name? Camille Semestra.
Okay. So yeah, you're gonna have some rust. But you're also going to see a glance of what Triple G was in the past. I get it. He's old. Hasn't fought in a while. So is Murata. But Murata is a younger person, younger talented individual, former gold medalist. And, he is the current champion, right? So you're telling me that when you match yourself against a champion, it's cherry picking? Okay. So that's why Canelo.
Well, I mean, and I'm taking your words when I'm taking your words when you call Canelo cherry picking undisputed champions.
Okay.
But when Triple G does it, it's fine. You like you're very selective.
Because I'm not trying to justify one to another. But here's the thing. All right. Yes, I get it. He's old. He looked washed out at the beginning. But no one can come out me and tell me right now Triple G didn't look prepared. Okay. If you tell me Triple G did not prepare for this fight,
first 4 rounds, or were you still asleep?
No. It happens, Hopper. He came prepared. Preparedness doesn't mean that you're going to start a lot of actions in the first few rounds. When you're prepared, that means you're going to the distance, just like we called it here. All right. Now, the problem is we have our mentality where next is Canelo because we have already a fight in place and the pressure's on Triple G to win because other than that, his chances to get what? Payday. I get it. Chance of payday against the cash cow. People are debating the fact that it's not 1-1. It's actually 2-0 against Canelo. Why is Canelo need to go back? It's a meaningless fight. So when you take away that portion of it, I think you got to really give a lot of props to Triple G, the way he handled a younger, talented guy in his back in Murata's backyard. But on top of that, he never gave up. He took a lot of punches. He looked slow at times, but it's not how you start. It's how you finish. And that's the difference making on Triple G. I'm not saying here that Triple G will beat Canelo. I'm not saying here that Triple G will knock Canelo out. All that I'm saying is Triple G came in so prepared that for me, I was satisfied with what I saw. Okay. Yeah. First few rounds. I get it. Is he going to come in prepared?
It's a horrible game
is he
plan,
going to
man.
show
come
up?
in prepared and lose the first 4 rounds. That's pretty shitty game plan, man. If you're going to go in there and lose the first, look at the condition he's in. Look at the shape he's in. You're telling me that he doesn't prepare himself? I will give Triple G props on that. For a 40-year-old,
so is
his
that
physique, his body, the way
passion, is that something that is worth?
That's true.
Giving props and accolades. So damn, I'll prepare a guy that is not going to make the public feel like, damn, that really sucked. Okay, we get it, but did you see the outcome? Right? And that's the Triple G talent that we've always seen. Is it going to happen with the Canelo? I don't know, but what I'm saying is he will come prepared to every fight and not disappoint the fans. We have seen elite boxers who are coming not prepared, who did not make weight, right? Who they feel like they're the little golden boy and they need to really, do a catch weight at the last minute because I am the king. I am this and that. You see what I'm saying? Did he come prepared for that fight? That's the question. Ryan Garcia and Tagoe. No. So look at the difference now. Now, yes, I get it. When you now start thinking, can he beat Canelo the way he fought last night? No. But I want to tell everyone right now is he came prepared for a good fight. He came prepared for possibilities in the future, and he did it. If he would have won unanimous decision, I would take all the criticisms. And I think I'm advocating for Trump. I should be a little bit low down in here. But what I want to say is give the guy some props. That's all I'm saying. He came prepared. He gave us a show.
He won.
Late in the rounds.
Hooray. Good job, Triple G. You beat another Rob Brand, another Rolls Royce, another Kamir Smetsa.
There you go.
As it's typical Triple G. I mean, it's some guy cherry picks, some guy fights undefeated champions. It's different path that these guys are taking, and that's all I'm saying.
All right, so just real quick, and I appreciate the passion, brothers. Before we get into these comments, because it's hot and heavy in the chat, we appreciate you guys checking in. I just want to take a step back for a moment, and I know that it's kind of synonymous to put them together, especially if a fight is actually scheduled between Triple G and Canelo. But if you just look at it for the accomplishment as itself, and you said yourself, Hopper, he is 40 years old. We did confirm that, and it's not.
I think it's confirmed.
It's confirmed, right? And he did get a unified victory, a championship. He is a unified champion at 40 years old. The path is questionable, but the accomplishment is not. So I do appreciate that. But I don't want to dismiss as far as Murata, as far as Dom, and he's had some questionable losses. But the fact that I think part of the 4-round challenges that was displayed, Murata had a great game plan going to the body. If anything, if we're going to bring up Canelo, I think that a lot of the things that Murata did is what Canelo's going to do. And I think it was the battle of the lead foot. Whoever had the lead foot and was fighting and pushing the action and going forward was the one that was, having the more success. Whoever's having to fight on the back foot had the lesser success. And I thought that once it was established and got into a rhythm, I thought Triple G looked really good. And I thought that he did what he had to do to get the victory. And he was able to, and one thing that also impressed me is as far as his power. Now, taking a step back when I get to real quick, if you take as far as the accomplishment, what I would rather see, and yeah, I am a Triple G fan, but I don't want to see that third fight, to be honest. What I would rather see is that Triple G would go undisputed at 160, because there's a lot of things that, for the standpoint of Canelo and Triple G, they're going to go at 168, a fight, the weight he's never been at before, ever. In his history of his career,
Jamal and Demetrius are there, man. Jamal and Demetrius.
Right, so those are good fights. And then I'll say another thing in respect for Murata. He did, get caught at the end. He hits harder than I think.
Yeah, he did. He did a lot better than what we thought.
He did really good. He did really good with the body punches.
It was that push. Like as soon as the round 9 started, Triple G, it was very sneaky. That's that veteran. You do got to give Triple G props on just being a veteran. Smart.
He gave him smart.
As soon as the round started, Triple G went in there and caught him with the right. Yeah. I guess Rob Brandt wasn't expecting it, and that was the beginning of the end. That punch there, pretty much, when he landed it, I said, "Oh shit, he got him. This is it."
Oh, yeah, you're right, Sean, about that statement, because I think Murata really came in and show the level of talent he is, and I think right now with this fight, he has earned some probably major good fights in the future. I think that this is a great step for him, and I think it was a good fight, not cherry picking, but I think that it was a good fight for both of the guys to come back after 2 years layoff, and that was the same case in Murata. But they didn't, Murata didn't look old. Of course, he's young, but inactivity does get to you. But what we talked about, Murata doesn't have that at the later rounds, and he starts fading down.
The body punch kept him in there. I think that's unfair to say that. I just think he just got caught, man. Or when the round started, I don't think he necessarily faded. I just think he fucking got caught. He was getting caught. It had anything to do with his cardio. He was getting
caught for a while. You see that right hook came in and took its mouthpiece out. That is a solid punch between the defense. And these are some of the things that Triple G can do. Well, like you talked about, that's the level of maturity you have in boxing. That actually is the slight advantage between Triple G and Murata, last night.
Yeah, so we're talking about what would be, good for boxing, and it sounds crazy for such a lucrative fight, and a fight that would be followed by a lot of, casuals, and the media would obviously, be interested in it from a lot of perspectives as far as the previous fights, the history, the rivalry. But as far as like an actual fight, be better for boxing is Canelo goes for undisputed at 175, and then Triple G stays at 160 and goes undisputed there. I mean, to me, that's way better for boxing. And it's realistic.
There's some good fights at 160 for Triple G, man. Even Munguia.
Yeah, so definitely.
Make those.
There could be just a unification.
Munguia, Jamal, Boo Boo. I mean, dang, I know he's holding out. He just.
But you know what I really would like to see. I don't know if you guys would agree with me or not. I think Murata did earn the right to fight maybe another world champion.
Oh, he'll be back.
I honestly, I would love to see Boo Boo Andrade against Murata. That will be a very good fight, a good challenge for Andrade. I know Andrade wants bigger, better things than that.
Yeah, he's moved. He's up right now. He's won up to 168 to fight Parker. But if he comes back down, I mean, he still has. But the thing about it, man, nobody wants to fight Boo Boo. It's so hard for that guy to get some fights, man. Even Eddie Hearn's pretty much given up on him. So I think, man, I hate to say this, but I think we just got to remove Boo Boo from the equation because he's
not if he stays at 160. Not if he stays at 160. If he stays at 160, then he'll be fine. But 168, he's just trying to get a payday with Canelo. That's all he wants.
No, definitely good stuff. So yeah, that's just my takeaway is, as an accomplishment, I'm impressed. We don't, even though they're synonymous, you don't always have to put them together. But to me, I think that Murata deserves a lot of credit. GGG deserves a lot of credit. It was an accomplishment for both guys, older and longer in the tooth. They gave us a great fight, and I appreciate it. It was very entertaining. And I think that 160, hey, Triple G, I don't know if you're listening or not, but, man, just go for it, man. He's
listening to you.
Yes. So I think that a fight against Charlo would do great numbers, and I think it would be a hell of a fight. And I think he can win. And
shout out to the Japanese fans, man. They're just so quiet. And then when the round was over,
a lot of clapping.
No yelling, no F you this, no pégale cabrón. No,
there were a few punches that they landed, and everyone was like, whoa, and a few claps, but not anything like we would hear in Vegas or we would hear anywhere here in the United States, or even in the United Kingdom as well.
All the Mexicanos, all the raza.
Oh yeah,
pégale, dale su madre. Damn, bro.
And the fight hasn't even started yet. So let's get to these comments and appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to get to our next topic. Fights to get to. HLD said it's a moral victory for 40-year-old Triple G, another 36-year-old paper champion Murata. Canelo will stop him in 5, but majority nobody wants to see that. I agreed with you telling the truth. I'd rather see Triple G Munguia.
That's the fight I would rather see.
Yeah, but will De La Hoya allow it? Probably not. All right, so
they're just nitpicking the fights for him. That's sad.
All right,
he'll be Chavez. 80 fights. He'll probably fight
for Triple G, but it's not for Canelo. All right, so G Funky says GGG look good to me.
Look good.
It's because he's got G in his name. That's why. GGG.
Conspiracy theory. All right, so Jaime says,
good point, Jaime. Yeah,
Saunders and Tyler Clinton
many times.
Rounds as well.
Canelo, Lomachenko, Terence Crawford, they'll lose the early rounds to get to feel their opponent out, but they don't get beat up like Triple G did. That's whole different.
As I said, GGG looks slow and gas. Power is still there, but Murata is tailor-made for G. No head movement. In my opinion, GGG is food for Canelo. No one's questioning that. That's true. All right, so from round 1, GGG jab was landing.
Hey, Triple G does have one of the best jabs in the game, man. You can't knock him on that one.
JC in the house. Much love, brother. GGG has been getting hit a lot since he left Sanchez. That's true, too, man. I wish they would get back together. That's a relationship that should have never ended.
Zero props from the Canelo Nation.
Zero props from Canelo.
Yes.
Oh, man. Damn, bro. Hey, yo. I'm still in the house, man. Much love to Access Elite. Jimmy Blue in the house. GGG is a great ambassador for the sports.
That's right.
The last of the dying breed, has fought everywhere as a pro, Morocco, Germany, UK, Japan.
Great. He has fought everywhere, but he hasn't fought anyone. So,
Oh, man. Murata is a solid fighter. The Last Samurai. Jaime's all up in here. Much love, brother. I feel the guy at 160.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. That's why Boo Boo moved up. He didn't want to fight him.
Yeah.
And Jaime Munguia turned down the mandatory, the eliminator. Yeah, that's right. Johnny Big, he's avoided.
Yeah. Johnny Beck is what
even old like that is avoided. See?
Yeah, that's
is he the new Triple G?
Yeah.
I think he's actually maybe even better.
Maybe better? Whoa, gringo.
I think
Triple G's about to block you from social media, bro.
He just did, but he'll block you when I say this. When I say better, as far as like he's better from the standpoint of right place, right time, because think about it. We're talking about Triple G still could be undisputed. This guy's going to run rampant at 160, and people are avoiding it. So I think right place, right time is going to benefit him. And he's a big young guy, so he could also move up. I love him. I mean, he's great. All right, so man, our guys in the house, Punch Smollett.
Yes,
what's
Punch
the Steve
Farhood had him up comfortably. I'm like, Steve, what fight are you watching, bro?
And we'll get more into that in a bit.
We'll talk about that one for sure.
Yeah,
though,
we got that coming up. Steven Ruiz, Jaime Garza, the only good thing that you have said today. Haha. All right, so man, he got a lot of comments here. All right,
those two guys started, man. Don't get Steven and Jaime going, man, because then he's gonna keep it G rated, fam.
Yeah, everybody.
And shout out to all those media coverage from here, from the local Dallas and Metroplex out there in San Antonio, Texas.
I
see
that
you
one.
guys
Straight
grinding,
up and
bro.
down like 6 o'clock.
We missed it, but we see you guys grinding. So it was great footage,
Yeah,
great stuff.
And this is a great comment. Yeah, that's a good comment you made, Manny. Much love to the Dallas media, man. The best media out there. We're just a little biased, but it's the truth, though.
It's the truth.
Funky boxing. Murata is straight up and down, like 6 o'clock, no head movement or upper body. Yeah, that's true. But does hit like a mule. My boy ringside.
Jimmy Blue.
Jimmy Blue. Let me get to
Jimmy Blue so we can watch the Triple G Canelo 3 fight.
Yeah.
All right, so Remy's up in here. Andrade didn't want to fight certain fighters, but instead, Tomato can. Saludos.
Part of the cherry picking team.
Harper, that's bro. He called me Harper.
The house, man. He has a better chance to fight Charlo than Canelo, without a doubt. He's going to get a payday.
Well, I mean, Triple G is still going to get a payday.
It's payday or legacy.
It's not a bigger payday than he's fighting Canelo 3. But still, Triple G doesn't really need all that. All Triple G's want that opportunity he's always wanted. Not because he feels like it, that first fight did not go his way. His second fight clearly lost it. But I think right now, when you are as a competitive person and a good fighter as Triple G, you haven't had that opportunity to do that in a few years, and you want it, and so that's why he's been fighting, whether he can beat it or not. I mean, that is fucking good for boxing.
And it's not like he's hurting for money. Triple G's had purses.
That's what I'm saying.
Sponsored by Jordan. I mean, he's got bread.
He doesn't need the money. He just wants that.
I don't know,
before I retire, regardless.
If you're in his shoes, you do the same thing. Go for the money, or try to fight.
I think he's going for both.
Try to fight.
Try to both. He's going for, first of all,
him and Munguia would. Oh my goodness.
No, but listen.
Because people really aren't too excited for Canelo.
Yeah, but listen to me. Okay, it's the same thing as Chocolate. Okay, it's the same thing as Chocolatito and Saramsovit, right? Chocolatito wants to at least avenge that. Can I go it again? He wants to, but is it the right thing to do? No.
That's a big difference there.
Yeah, Triple G.
I don't know, bro.
Triple G wants that chance more than money, and if you can have that chance and the money, you will do it. Is it?
Yeah.
Does he need to retire after?
At the end of the day, all the zeros in the bank account.
No.
Yeah.
No. We get it. Canelo's the man. All right. So.
All right. No Canelo talk.
Yeah. We get it.
Not enough Canelo talk. Never enough Canelo talk.
All right. We did see a good Triple G. That's the point. And good.
Okay. All right. There's other people that fought besides Triple Whack, man. Come on.
6 in the morning.
Woo! Wow. Let's move on. Somebody else fought.
All right. So speaking of which, man, our brother Hopper literally saw this fight all morning. He saw it when it happened. He saw it after it happened. He's got a lot of hot takes on it, and I do as well. So does our brother, man. Let's get to it. Lubin versus Fundora. Man, what a fun fight.
Best fight of the weekend? Yeah. And we said it. We all said it was going to be the best matchup of the weekend. And it didn't disappoint.
It did not disappoint.
Honestly, I didn't expect that either. I didn't think it was going to turn out like that, man. And
no one really wanted Fundora. Everything I heard was like Lubin this, Lubin that, Lubin. What about Fundora? Oh, he's too tall.
I was kind of hard on him, man. I always thought he was kind of an underwhelming prospect. He was too skinny, too frail, and he looked like Dawson from Street Fighter. I'm like, he's real.
Hayukin.
He was real skinny, man. But that fight yesterday, hey, you graduated from prospect to legit contender. Lubin was it's far from a joke. Yeah, he lost to the Charlo, but no, Fundora and his physique, he looks like he filled in. He looked like he bulked up. And I'm going to start calling him Sebastian Uppercut from Hell Fundora, because those uppercuts busted up Lubin's face. And that's bread and butter punch. For someone that tall to be that good fighting on the inside, yo.
No, man, absolutely. That's a great take and a great takeaway, similar to what I had as well. Manny, what's your thoughts? Because obviously you have some hot take opinions. Is just how the fans were embracing the fight. You feel like maybe Lubin was getting too much credit and Fundora wasn't getting enough?
He this southpaw kid, he just fought well off the ropes. Landed a variety of punches, shots. Made by Fundora. A lot of respect for that. For Fundora, hurt Lubin and dropped him in the late second round.
And
so here's the thing. One of the most important
uppercut.
thing from Fundora, and you said it, Haber, it was the uppercuts. They were working fantastic, but not to mention, here's where the maturity comes out. And here is when you trust your talent and the potential and the opportunity you got in front of you, which is like, if you win, you're in contention for a title. All right. And it looks better, Fundora, Charlo, Castaño, than Lubin Charlo. That happened way ago. I mean, Lubin got destroyed. So it makes no sense to see that. However, look what Fundora did. All right. He got caught. He got caught pretty nasty. And he said to myself, I need to compose myself. And he went down, took a knee. He took a knee. And he said, I just need to recover. What boxer does that?
Bro, that's smart.
Who does that? You are actually, I think I need to see it again, because I think I had the fight maybe 4-3, 5-3 Lubin at one point. But maybe it could be like even 4-4 before the knockdown. But man, let me tell you, people were everywhere I saw on social media, they were just not giving Fundora any chance at all, because Lubin that and Lubin this and he's gonna that. And every show that I listened to, no love whatsoever for the tall, skinny, lucky that he's there, he's gonna get whooped eventually. And that was what people were hoping last night. I felt at one point like everyone's against, Fundora. It was like a moment where like the entire world was trying to see Mayweather be knocked down for the first time. They couldn't happen. And they're going to the fight. Oh, it didn't happen, right? Everyone, that's the way I feel about it anytime I see Fundora. But I get it. Too tall, too skinny. But man, he came in buffed. He came in prepared. He's young. He's talented. And man, that consistency on the uppercuts, as tall as you are, you landed it so many good of them that I'm going to enjoy watching that second fight. I do agree it was one of the best fights of the weekend. I have another fight that I think
it was the best fight of the weekend.
I have another fight that I really enjoyed and almost was at that level. And the reason why is just the talent that is actually happening and the opportunity with it, a guy that's a gatekeeper right now. And I think for me, Shane Mosley Jr. and Gabe Rosado, they gave a pretty good show when it comes to boxing.
I want to talk about that too. That was a great fight.
When it comes to the boxing skills and the opportunity that Shane Mosley Jr. had, he took every bit of it. He took every punch for Gabe Rosado. He mastered the fact that the movements and the strategy to really break down a very strong opponent. That's why I have those two level. But back to Lubin and Fundora, you said it. Great contention opportunity. And I think right now, if you ask me, this is going to be a very, very good fight of the winner of Castaño and Jermaine Charlo.
And Charlo, yeah.
Dora's just sitting there on the driver's seat. I'm ready for you guys. Here's the deal. If Jermel wins the fight against Castaño, that's the sad part. I don't see that fight happening because all the crap stuff, politics, and what Jermel thinks he wants or he deserves. I don't know. I don't think he'll give him a chance. But, hey, he can go for one shot for all the belts. That will be great for boxing if Fundora can actually stop the younger Charlo.
So yeah, excuse me, just real quick on that, and you guys brought up some good points, and appreciate the passion. Like for me, anytime I'm going with a fight, I always lean towards the boxer. And Lubin was coming in hot, and he fought better competition. Let's just be honest.
Exactly.
I know that there was question about his chin, but at the same time, there was so many unknowns in terms of Fundora. So with an unknown, you're going to go with the known commodity. So I think it wasn't disrespect. I think it was more about respect for Lubin than disrespect. Now, that all being said,
that Fundora had to earn.
Yeah, so he definitely earned it. And, there's a great comment right here from our man G Funky I want to get to right now. Volume punchers always destroy the high guard. And that's true. That's definitely Fundora. He's a value puncher. And he's but there's some things that I didn't anticipate. I didn't anticipate the fact that his accuracy with that uppercut. Now I knew he had it when it comes from another zip code, comes from another stratosphere. But
the crazy thing about it is he's so out of range where his head's not in any danger to get countered or anything because he's so lanky.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal a weapon that he has, and it's great to watch, and it's great boxing. And I know there was some awkwardness, and credit to Lubin. And I want to get to this comment real quick. From a man Tommy Rush in the house. Much respect.
Seventh round was the round of the year so far, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Fundora was working him the first 2 minutes, and then Lubin said enough is enough. He went on his last stand. He unloaded, dropped him. But I think he emptied his tank on that stand.
No,
Round 7,
and also 6
round of
because
the
it
year
started
so
in
far.
6. Lubin landed a hard right hook on top, and then a left of Fundora's body. And that was 30 seconds in the round 6. That's where I felt like, wow. I'm like, okay, Lubin's got him now. And then another right hook
It's just
again up after the midway
ebb and
mark of
flow
the
of the
6th
fight,
round.
man. Just
I was like, it was bombs away. And then, like you said, round 7, they both got their act together. It's like it's anyone's game right now.
No, it was a great fight. You know, a lot of back and forth. I know that it was commented in, you know, shout out to G Funky and D Style. They did a post fight show that was really great. Something stood out to me that D Style said. I don't know what you guys agree or disagree. Not saying it's not a good comment. It makes a lot of sense. Do you think that fight it lost a little something because the way it ended?
Which
like,
one, Lubin?
why? Because he stopped it.
Yeah,
no, I don't think so, man. Because if you look at Lubin's face, you understand why. I mean, he had the knot in his forehead. His face was all busted. It looked like he was, and it was confirmed he had a broken jaw and broken nose after
that uppercut.
I mean, the trainer knows. Cunningham knows.
Fundora was not going to stop the uppercut
and he wasn't going
damage.
to stop fighting. Yeah, it was just going to inflict more unnecessary damage to that shattered face. I mean, no, and F that fan who threw ice at Kevin Cunningham after stopping the fight.
Right?
Did you see that?
That was like I'm like, what the fuck?
Cup or something. Like, dude, really? You had money on the fight or something? I mean, it's your loss.
Probably.
Enjoy the fight, man.
Stupid.
No, yeah. No, like I said, excuse me. That was like it didn't take anything away from me, but it was a interesting comment because I do think some people feel that way. Now, to Haber's point, irregardless of what happened, that 7th round, I think that's going to hold up. It's going to be hard to beat that 7th round.
It's hard to top it because for one person to dominate and then the other guy to say enough is enough and just empties his tank and what a round, man.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get on to excuse me, guys, to another topic, I did want to touch on this because, you know, we got such high regard for him. And this is kind of one of those things I was concerned about. Like, so I know that our man, Xander Zayas, who was actually in San Antonio supporting his boy Tagoe, didn't work out, but he was there supporting because that's what kind of team player is, a good stable mate. He's at 154. So Fundora's only 24. Honestly, Manny, what's your thoughts on that? No worries? Because here's the thing. The reason Javier Centeno moved to that weight class, they felt it was the best for Xander to campaign, and they want next year to go for belts. So,
well, I mean, here's what we talked about earlier. If Jermell Charlo beats Brian Castaño, okay, that takes all the belts into Charlo, and you know they're going to be hostage for quite some time. All right, because he's going to be nitpicking the people
saying the PBC.
And for me, get the fuck out. All right, move up to middleweight. Okay, move up to middleweight, and let these young and talented kids try to fight for something. Like, you know, there's a comment here I like that I'm going to post it real quickly. And then Fundora would face a mandatory at 154 regardless of Charlo Castaño winner, and he would. And you know what mandatory that is? You know who that is? Zoo. That is Zoo. So Team Zoo. That'll be a very good, interesting fight against the youngsters, right? To, you know, to start working their craft. But I think Xander still has a lot. He's still not a man body. I mean, he's just freaking stronger than anything like that. But I think Xander is about 3 fights before he starts fighting top 10. You know.
Oh, you're talking about Tim Zoo. I'm like, who are you talking about?
Tim Zoo.
Yeah.
So Fundora against Tim Zoo. That will really make sense. Sad to say that you earned a mandatory right now, but
no, he's earned the WBC mandatory.
That's what I'm saying. But if Charlo doesn't give that to him, eventually, if Charlo moves away, the WBO
mandatory
becomes vacant. If he moves, then that will be a very interesting fight for that WBC title.
Well, Zoo's WBO.
They're both right there. Remember, Lubin was first.
WBC, but Fundora is now the mandatory for the WBC. But Tim Zoo's mandatory for WBO.
WBC. Fundora is WBC. So Lubin was first, and Fundora. 1 and 2 will go at it. Now who's third? Tim Zoo, right? So now Fundora's
already a mandatory at the WBO, though. There's no need for him to go to mandatory again, try to fight for a mandatory position.
He's already the mandatory.
He's already a mandatory for the WBO.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Charlo, even if
Charlo wins, I get what you're saying. It'd be a great fight.
Even if Charlo wins, okay, he's got the WBO now. He beat Castaño, and then he's going to keep those belts hostage. I already know it.
He has to fight Zoo. No, he has to fight Zoo. There's no other way around it.
Yeah,
the WBO already.
I don't know, man.
They gave him the go ahead to fight this one with the condition that the WBO Whoever wins
Papo
the WBO is gonna
Valcárcel.
fight
What's going to
Tenzin.
happen, man? You're going to bring it in? But I hope so. Because what's the point of mandatories? What's the point of some of these guys fight for a spot and you finally make that one spot and you're just
no. Tim Zoo's camp ain't fucking around.
Yeah.
They're gonna enforce it.
I'm hoping.
Yeah,
but if it doesn't happen, they're
not
a fight
putting up
against
with it.
Zoo against Fundora will be very interesting because of what just happened and what
if they both become champions and then fight each other.
Yeah, well,
that'll be the best scenario.
Yeah, if he wins the WBC champion, Zoo wins the WBO champion, and they seem like throwback fighters. They're down to fight anybody. Zoo.
So if you want to campaign for that, you have got to root for Castaño.
Yeah.
Because if Castaño wins, Castaño will
fight
fight some of these guys.
Oh, you're saying
that's the sad thing about it.
Come on, now, man. Hold on. Time out. Come on. Let's put a little. Hey, you know, I love me some Jermell Charlo, bro.
I love
Jermell wants to smoke. Jermell,
but he doesn't.
I think it's more the PBC doesn't want to smoke.
Okay. So
you're right. But come on, let Jermell wants to smoke.
If you're the fighter and you really want the smoke,
some Jermell Charlo.
If you really want the smoke, you make it happen. Right?
That's fair.
In fairness, just to
okay, but I got PBC that protects me. But I want to fight. It's like me and you want to fight, and Gringo's in the middle of us trying to separate us, and I'm
right now.
Come on, Hopper. I want the fight. Yeah, right. I got Gringo in the middle to separate, but I want you, Hopper. That's the problem.
Gringo.
Okay, so just to clarify again, to keep everything copacetic and on track, you realize that that Fundora is a PBC fighter. So when you say protected, the thing that PBC does, and like all promotional companies for the record want to do, they want to have the belts because they want to have the leverage for the fights for the championship.
And they won't fight each other.
The networks
pay money.
But as far as like fighters go, and I know that PBC fighters aren't your favorite, but Jermell has historically shown that he goes against the grain and he wants to fight. So for one, he's taking this rematch against Castano. So I think, and that's
he has to because he lost the fight.
That's respect right there.
He lost the fight. And he has to. It's money. You know he lost the fight, and you know he didn't perform well.
You know the Latinos don't get no love at the PBC unless
I know, right?
Well, yeah,
Sean's the only one. Look at him foxing the behind him. He's like Fox.
Heyman is shaking his head at him right now. Defend me. Defend my honor, Gringo.
Well, with that being said, I mean, the PBC has shown that they pick up fighters that top rankers drink. Look at dropped. Elvis Rodriguez, who's a Latino fighter, was dropped after one loss by top rank. So
in your face, Hopper.
There's a lot of times where the PBC, I know there's a negative connotation because of one fight that people are focused on that never happened or whatever happened, the whole side of the street thing. But irregardless, as far as 154, that really is a division that PBC has a lot of dominance in. Yeah. So they don't really. Either way, here's the thing. Even Tim Zhu, who we're talking about, Castano, they've been on the PBC Showtime platform already. So they're already lining things up to where I think, irregardless of how the fight goes, as far as to talk about the Castano Charlo fight, it's going to be a fight that's going to be set up for another PBC fighter. And I think Sebastian Fundora, a Latino fighter, the last time I checked, is set up to be another star for them. And I think that he put up a great performance. And I think, there is some bias there, and I get it, as far as like the whole Mario Barrios, and they're kind of overplaying the Latino Aztec heritage. But honestly, that's him. I've seen him fighting way back in San Antonio on little undercard. That's
warrior. That's his shtick. That's his shtick. But before we move on, Gringo, to the other fight, I just wanted my final thought on Erickson Lubin and Sebastian Fundora. That's how mandatory are supposed to be decided. When you take top guys like that and put themselves in the mandatory position, because a lot of times a guy becomes a mandatory by fighting some no name, the way they get the promotional push, influencing these boxing organizations. So, but the way they did it, the way Fundora and Lubin did it, that's how it's supposed to be done, man. Props to them for accepting those tough matches, and props to the PBC for getting it done, I guess.
Yeah. And So like another thing,
but Lubin is not the I guess that they want Fundora to develop. No. I'm saying on PBC wise. They're not trying to protect him.
Don't do that to my boy Lubin. I mean, he lost to Charlo for sure.
They're trying to make him fight there. They're trying to make him redeem himself with the loss with the loss he did against Charlo, and now it's a chance to put him against
himself. He reinvented himself.
I get it. But now it was another opportunity for him to, but he failed again. Wow.
I think, well, to your point, when you say protect him, he had to fight somebody to earn a shot to be, you know, in an eliminator or be a contender for a chance at the belts, especially at 154, has a fight for undisputed. He wants to be in that conversation. Going into the fight, like we said, as far as Lubin, they had a lot of people feeling that he had gotten better to the point where he could avenge that knockout loss, because a lot of people feel he was outboxing, which happens a lot with Jamel Charlo fights, is that he's out getting
Tony Harrison.
Lubin fought Rosario, and he performed exceptionally well to earn the opportunity.
Gave him a seizure with the punch to the jab to the body.
6-round knockout. I mean, you know, he earned a shot. He a shot, and he earned an opportunity. So that's good for him.
So, but
now,
man, good stuff though. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so, yeah. Let me get to this comment real quick. I'll probably regret it, but I would argue that the PBC will somehow hold the belts at 154 for Errol Spence or possibly Crawford when they move up before Fundora or Tim Tszyu gets the shot.
Tszyu, I think I agree somewhat, except that Tszyu, I have a feeling that, in my opinion, Tszyu will get his shot, man. His team is not effing around. They've already threatened legal action with the WBO, and I don't know what kind of deal they made to allow the rematch to happen with Castano, but I'm almost positive Tim Tszyu got some kind of guarantee that, hey, no, you're fighting whoever wins next.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's where exactly. I think that Tim Tszyu, to me, Tim Tszyu damn near a PBC fighter at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting on Showtime, and
he's a PBC fighter. So that's why I'm saying I think that 154 is, if anything, even though we're going
division.
Well, it's my division, but I think the thing that I like about it is they have intriguing matchups. They have young up-and-coming fighters, and they have good fights that are happening. Is it, you know, probably annoying for people that one banner is maybe more dominant in it? I mean, it happens, but if anything, it shows that's when fights are being made. But all in all, I think that fights are being made throughout boxing. That's what makes it exciting. Speaking of which, we had another fight that maybe wasn't as exciting, but it did have some excitement on the card.
Eventful.
All right, so let's go ahead and get to it, man. You know what? I wanted to share something real quick.
Charity scary.
Harper, go ahead.
What an uneventful fight, man. King Rai. You're talking about Ryan Garcia, right? The King Rai. What an uneventful fight, man. I mean, it's hard for Ryan to look good against a fighter. I didn't realize Tagoe was gonna fight like a Puerto Rican, you know, and just run around and be on the ropes. I mean, he has a lot of rope burns probably today because he was just on the ropes.
Yeah, that was really rough. That was a rough watch on a lot of different.
Yeah, it was kind of, the co-main event was a lot better, man. I'm gonna talk about Ryan. You know, it's kind of even hard to gauge him because I guess you can say that he did a shitty job cutting off the ring.
Well, that was for him. It was an opportunity to go through that because he hadn't been through that. And I think, but let me tell you something. I think in the second, third round, he did a really good job kind of cutting him because he was running. He was like really doing a lot of outside work and running around the ropes, but he cut him pretty well to the point that he was landing some of those. And man, I got to tell you something. Wow, it's a whip what this kid has when it comes to his jab and his hook. I mean, it's just like, wow, what are the punches?
You blink, you don't miss, you don't see the punch.
He was standing straight. My concern to that is, was he 100% prepared for a title match? He's not. He wasn't prepared. He's just so super talented, and he has some condition, some good training conditions. And I think Guzan has, he even said it. He's like, hey, listen, he's doing certain things that what we practice. He needs more of this. Some of these opponents to get him into that complete, elite status in all around when it comes to the boxing skills. And I think it was a really good test. He wanted to perform at a high level? I'm not gonna vouch. And I mean, I was like, oh, you suck today. But because that's the thing though. I've always preached about that. Give the guy a chance. Maybe the opponent, it's not the right style and it makes things difficult for you, but how can you overcome some of those obstacles? Same thing he did against Luke Campbell. Boom, knocked down. I came back again, right? He couldn't knock Tagoe out. I think he mentally was focused more on the knockout because he said, I want knockout people. And, okay, Emmanuel, you got an opportunity, you got a nice payday. You last him in the 12th round, however it is. But
man.
You know what I mean? It's great conditioning, great job by, Sweatbot Boxing Gym And Javier Centeno, great. I mean, you put up a performance yesterday in where all eyes were on one person only, and that's the King Ryan. And so he's humble enough. I'm glad to do that. But here's my problem, and I'll pass the mic. Here's my problem with Ryan. I think in myself, I was expecting more of an ambassador. I was expecting a kid that can actually move the masses, move the youngsters, move the people who are needing an opportunity and see him as a role model. I don't see him on that. I just don't. The only difference I saw against Ryan Garcia, which, by the way, Santiago, thank you for coming over, man. I've seen you in a while. We enjoy some of the great boxings we haven't, even touched for quite some time. Appreciate you. But he even said it. He said, "Wow, there's something different about the way he was looking and coming in, entrance in the ring. For whatever that is." But other than that, I mean, he needs a lot to be able to still be named like the number one. Eventually 135 pounder. So. Everyone else is outside. We're just waiting for Devin Haney and Camboso. But is Ryan ready for that? For those styles? I don't know yet. I think he needs to go through a couple more fights, maybe one more.
He needs to fight at 135 again first. So
I know exactly. Make 135. Come on. I mean, that's the first.
Yeah. But and then I'm gonna say this, man. It's gonna. I hate to say this because I was watching Ryan Garcia and Tagoe, right? But I was also watching the UFC fights. Yes, I'm sorry. Our ugly cousin had an event yesterday, so I was watching it. And Ryan was fighting at the exact same time. There was a fight. Gilbert Burns was fighting Chimaev. And, man, I caught myself looking at the UFC fight more than Ryan. I'll admit, man. That UFC fight was pretty exciting. But that just goes to show you when an opponent doesn't want to engage, doesn't want to try to win the fight. And Tagoe, I'm going to put it more on less on Ryan and more on Tagoe. Because Tagoe seemed like he was unwilling to exchange. He was just in there to survive.
He did, but he did it at times.
I can't bash Ryan too hard when you have an opponent like that. I guarantee you his back hurts with rope burns. He's just running around the ring the whole time, and it's kind of
round 6, 7, and 8. He wasn't, and that's why he got caught, and that's why he took some of the best.
He said, "Back to my bike."
and he took some of the best.
It's just
punches.
hard, bro. It's hard to. When an opponent like that does that, that's his game plan. Just use the ring, and engage very little. Don't take any risks at all, and it's just it makes for boring fights, and that's what the fans in San Antonio get for booing the Gabe Rosado and Shane Mosley Jr. fight. They were booing that fight, and me and my
that was the best fight of the night.
That's unfair. That was a great fight. The Gabe Rosado Shane Mosley Jr. the co-main event. That was a fight, man. Shane Mosley Jr. He looked great. He looked phenomenal, and there was
a contender.
There was a donkey judge there that had it 95-95. Angel Mendez. Wah, wah, wah. That was a horrible scorecard. 95-95. Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. dominated that fight. It was easy 8-2, 9-1 for Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. Gabe Rosado. He does what Gabe Rosado does. He gets hurt. He hides it well because he's experienced in that. He's fought a lot of top guys. Sugar Shane Mosley just looked very athletic, very stiff jab, great body move, great lateral ring work. I mean, he looked like the total package last night, man.
He's got the vision like a running back in the NFL. That even though you got great coverage and great blocks, you have a vision to where to go. So the same thing I was noticing. He takes the jab and then he brings it back up and comes back with the uppercut in the body. And then he comes back quickly with the right hook. I mean, it was just a very, very good, the talent is there. And I never thought that I would see, especially after the 2 losses he got. I never thought, I would see Shane Mosley at this level. Yes, Rosado has been named now as a gatekeeper. He will continue to. He'll have a couple more fights against some of this young talent.
He's on Creed.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, man, you can't take credit away from what Shane Mosley did and how he studied and how he mastered the boxing skills last night. That's why I was so impressed with this fight rather than any other fights.
The main event was
and the main event because it's Ryan Garcia. That's about it. That's about it. And everyone wanted to see his comeback, and I've always given it up to those who have issues, mental issues, and depression.
It's sensitive topic, and we definitely don't hope he's better off.
Absolutely. And if we did see him, he spoke. It was very well spoken at the end of the fight. He knew it wasn't his best performance. He was cool. Hey, I'm going back to the drawing board. And keep in mind, short time of training.
First fight with Joe Goosen.
which Joe, he was also very honest and upfront when he actually. Yeah, so I think that Joe will get him in there, but is that going to be? I don't know. I think he needs a little bit more. I want to see a really Ryan Garcia in a really tough battle, just like he did with Campbell, but a little bit longer because he really come back and took Campbell out. But I want to see Ryan Garcia fighting the best, and that's where I'm going to be.
Yeah,
listen, I'm not a hater.
Go from here?
And that's the thing, but I'm not a hater of him. I want to see this kid.
What?
He's got. No, I love Ryan Garcia, man. Yesterday I was looking at him. I was looking at him as this guy has the potential to be that kid. He has the skills. He's got the talent. He's got the speed. It's like, man, this guy. I was bragging every round. I think I was annoying my buddy. And every round, look at the talent. Look what he's doing. Look, oh wow, amazing. Do you see what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, we see that glance. There's a piece missing. I don't know what it is. That's up to him to figure it out and identify.
You know what that piece is,
Manny? It out, dude.
You know what that piece is, Manny?
What is it?
Opponent. Another a legit opponent. Because other than Luke Campbell, when he fought Luke Campbell, you saw Ryan. You saw you saw him push.
He needs to be challenged. What you're saying, he needs to be challenged.
That's his missing piece.
And when he's challenged, he'll
rise to rise to the occasion.
I agree.
All right, so I want to get to these comments. Man, you guys are way higher on Ryan Garcia than me. I'll just say that. Like,
really? Why is it? What do you think?
I think nothing.
You don't see a glance of being a superstar?
No. Nothing?
Nothing at all?
Wow, just a guy. Just a dude.
Someone's been
social media. Are you saying he's Jake Paul? Just social media guy that boxes?
No, I think he's in the right place, right time. I mean, I respect the fact that he had some, mental issues and things that he's dealing with.
Wow.
But I think that he's had some basic things that, let's take the opponent out of it. Okay, so let's look at these comments right here.
Right.
Ryan's jab was missing while coming forward at times. That's got nothing to do with the opponent, man. All right, that's Ryan. Okay, so no jab, no body work. His chin was up in the air the entire time. That's got nothing to do with Tagoe. That's got to go out of Ryan's arsenal. He's not doing anything right. Also, another thing too, I do think Ryan does need to move up to 140. But in reality, I think there's a lot of things that he can do. But the thing is, he's not doing them right now. So he's been pushed to the forefront, and I think that's part of his anxiety and his stress. So let's, being respectful to the issues he's dealing with. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is a fight, but it's also some mental thing. So, he has a lot of things he has to deal with because he's kind of like his own worst enemy. He puts himself out there, which puts more pressure on him, which brings more anxiety. So from that standpoint, and also his technical issues, yes, he's his own worst enemy. So I think that from that standpoint, I think what you see is what you're going to get. It's basically a guy that comes in that we talk about woulda, coulda, shoulda, and it's never going to be. Right now, we're not even sure what division he's in right now. We're still talking about 135.
Ryan weight.
Yeah, but he's in Ryan weight right now. And then also for the record, with all due respect to Javier Centeno, who I know, who I felt bad for because this guy was running the whole damn night. They had a game plan and it was just kind of thrown out the window. So yeah, the power's there. I see the hook, I see the quickness, and yeah, good looking kid and all that. But as far as do I look forward to his fights? Absolutely not. I'd rather not talk about him at all. Let me go ahead and add this as well, as far as my opinion of him, where I think it's gotten kind of out of control as far as the disrespect. Let's look at this real quick. The most anticipated return in boxing history.
Man, get the F out of here.
Right up there with Muhammad Ali coming from jail, Mike
Tyson. That's a DAZN article, bro. DAZN wrote that. Ain't no damn way mine. But
no, but my point is,
I'm gonna tell you, there's a comeback and it's not there, and it was very anticipated. Just didn't get up there because of the knucklehead he is. But I think it's Keith Thurman.
Yeah, and I guess it's fair because, like I said, I was at my boy's house and we were watching the fights, and a lot of them wanted to see Ryan, and they're not the biggest hardcore boxing fans. They're like, hey, when's Ryan fighting? They didn't even know there was a Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. That's how casual they are, but they wanted to see Ryan.
Yeah,
Sugar Shane Mosley
and
Jr.
even fans that are not the boxing fans, I received some calls
Ryan.
talking to me about, hey,
they know Ryan.
Are you going to be in San Antonio? Hey,
no, I mean,
people that I know, they live in San Antonio, they were expecting us to be around there, and they're like, hey, I heard some guy, Ryan Garcia, fighting. Oh, yeah. Oh, I heard a lot of stuff, So you're hearing people some of these things, but and when you have that chance and opportunity, I hear what Hopper said earlier, but you can't give it up too much to the opponent because you have to adapt to the opponent.
Right.
And if you're that person, then you must be able to perform and do the things you got to do.
No, that's a great point because obviously you have to adapt to your environment. You got to adapt to your opponent.
But damn, Gringo went nuclear on Ryan. I wasn't expecting
he did.
that.
I'm shocked. Hubbard was expecting that from me, but no,
I was expecting that from Manny.
I'm bullish.
It's fine. I mean,
life. What's going on here?
If we never talk about Ryan Garcia again, I'll be a happy man.
Wow, no wonder you had him like way at the end. And
let me go ahead and add this as well. Part of this, as far as like, there's other fighters, and I'm sure this is how a lot of people feel about some fighters. Maybe there's a lot of biases toward Triple G. Gets too much, accolades for not fighting nobody, and I get that. And a lot of people feel that. Yeah, Berlanga, he gets a lot of accolades, and he's not done anything. He hasn't beaten anybody, and I get that too. But to me, this feels different because there's somebody that we really strongly support and have supported several different fighters, including within the same banner, and that's Virgil Ortiz. I think that if Golden Boy put half the emphasis they put on Virgil Ortiz as they do as far as Ryan Garcia, his star would ascend because we've seen the talent, we've seen the ability, and it's just not there. So yeah, there's some resentment there, but honestly, it's also just the reality. Like he's his own worst enemy. I could talk about him or not talk about him, and nothing's going to change. He is who he is.
Yeah, but I did see him struggle in the late rounds in terms of like the stamina.
Inviting you to know Ryan Garcia watch party.
Stamina wise, he wasn't prepared.
Or maybe I am.
You'd see him how he stand firms, and then he was just tucking down and trying to land something. He wanted to land one punch, and then he pulled back round 7. There's only one round that Manuel Tagoe won, and that was round 7 because he didn't throw any punches at all. No punches whatsoever. No. And is it because he was trying to reset himself? Ryan Garcia doesn't reset himself. So was there a training issue? That's what I'm thinking. At the last minute, changes of coaching, changes in terms of the staff, the people around him. Now changes on the training. Did you really get time to train? Did you underestimate your opponent? What we talked about in our show in 108? No. And I think because I'm Ryan Garcia, I'm gonna make things happen, and he did. But not to the level. Yeah,
I mean, again, I'm human. I'm not one of those people that are going to say like, on media. We're giving a fan perspective. So, some people I like, some people I don't. But one thing that I don't appreciate is, acting like something's there that's not. I don't see greatness when I see him. I see a great opportunity that's being missed. That's what I see.
You see Jake Paul 2.0, basically, a better version of Jake Paul.
I'll give him the respect. Like, obviously, he's got a great amateur career, and he's done.
Okay, so here's the deal: if you take Jake Paul's commitment to the sport, and you take Ryan Garcia talent, and you put those together, you build a monster. Jake Paul's got more commitment to the sport. Come on, that's true. You have to give it up to them. And what he's doing. And by the way, shout out, no more bullies. He just opened up a gym in La Perla, Puerto Rico. So he is investing in the youngsters, man.
The young Puerto Ricans, man.
You know what I'm saying? Fighting out of Dorado, Puerto Rico. So he's representing himself out of Dorado, Puerto Rico. So he's making a difference. See the commitment? Do you see the commitment? If Ryan Garcia only had that, we would have a super huge star. But you know what?
Anything behind
Golden Boy, anything behind Golden Boy.
Fucking nuts all in your chin.
Whoa! Hey, yo! Yep. All right, that's enough of Ryan Garcia for once.
All right, enough of Ryan.
I just want to talk about some quick news and notes. So, man, I usually don't get too overly hype or excited for finding out what somebody's sparring opponent. Like, that's not going to make a big difference. I mean, I like it for the younger guy. They get an opportunity to shine and kind of show what they can do. But Canelo brought in the Nail and be his partner. I think that's great. I think that's a really smart move. The Nail is Vosdick. Alexander Vostik. So I think that's a great move by him. Shout out to him. Also, big news coming soon. Great boxing is getting better. You have the lifted ban in Cuba. Man, that's going to bring so much more talent. Again, I'm going to go ahead and say, put it on record, put it on wax, that this is going to be one of the most historical, significant years when we look back as far as boxing.
The Cuban wave is about to come.
Wave. I think also just the level of
I think a lot of people don't like that Cuban style of fighting. Look at Murata, look at Guillermo Rigondeaux. Like, they don't like that Cuban style. I mean, that Cuban style of fighting was pretty dominant in the 80s.
Exactly. That's where Canelo was born.
But now it's kind of like our fans going to be receptive to that. There's going to be a lot of talent coming now from Cuba.
And I think that Luis Ortiz will make a big part of that growth that it's having, and some of the other talented guys that are out there. So and now you have exposure and being able to do it freely, lifting out the ban. That is so exciting, having Cuba back again And look at the Olympics. Cuba is always there as it pertains to talented individuals representing Cuba. So I'm hoping that they get that talent to the next level. And
what's that one kid? No, Robinson Ramirez. Is he Cuban?
Yeah. So keep in mind. So if Rami Ramirez,
Ramirez,
yeah, so he's Cuban, and also you have David Morrell, he's Cuban, and then fighting next week you have Ugas, he's Cuban. So
Ugas,
they have already here, bro.
Right, they've made adjustments, but here's the thing: I look at talent and fusion coming in, and then also in fairness and respect to our brothers and those listening in. I think that void that we've been looking to for a while, even though we feel like that wave is coming, I think that can be an added push for Puerto Rican boxing if Cuban boxing comes into mix. And I think just talent is always, any sports you have, you want to have more talent and variety. And just like we said that maybe not all fans are receptive, but I think all fans can appreciate different styles and have different, personalities and approaches in boxing will help the sport grow and, just give a different light. Speaking of a different light, I want to give a shout out real quick to Nicole Ocasio. Fighting out of Fort Worth. She got her first win in the DR, baby. Big shout out to her, man. Congratulations. She's actually, for those that don't know, she's the first fighter signed to Amanda Serrano Promotions. They're actually from the same Carolina, Puerto Rico, right? Yeah, and they're also both Southpaw, so they got a lot of things in common. So big shout out to her. Much
Great
love
family,
and respect.
Father's Day is awesome, fantastic. We've been able to meet them here in some of the media events. Great family, great potential. I mean, when you have Amanda Serrano, a 7th division champion, picking up and starting to develop her stable, and she is one of them, the first one, that means something. And we did see that. I mean, pro debuts, your opponent, it's not, but as an opponent had two, I think it was two already fights, and she proved that she can get there with a lot of hard work and training.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we just commented that, there's a lot of pressure going into a fight like that. Here's the thing. Like, think about it. She's been a national champion for all these years. She kind of went under the radar. She's doing her thing respectfully, and she's making a name for herself. But then, her idol signs her. So that puts more eyes on her. So there was pressure, she didn't want to just go out there. So she got a first round
around Jake Paul. I mean, the difference maker.
Yeah, so
nowadays,
right? Well, I'll give him his credit. So, definitely, guys. So, good stuff there, man. It was a action-packed show, man. I'm gonna definitely go back and listen to this one.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be a good one to listen to.
Final thoughts, Gringo, or what?
Yeah, final thoughts, man. Because I think we want to go ahead and close the thing out. So, Hopper, final thoughts.
Final thought. Shout out to Michaela Mayer, dominated over Jennifer Han. Jennifer Han from El Paso, Texas, 38 years old. Michaela Mayer. Jennifer Han looked good for about 3 rounds, and she got busted up in the 4th, and it was pretty much over. Michaela Mayer has a very sweet jab. It's fast, it's powerful, it's sharp. I like me some Michaela Mayer, and there's the commentators were talking about. There's a possibility it can be done. She could probably fight the winner of Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor if they want to do it. An interesting nugget. Jennifer Han's sister actually defeated Michaela Mayer in the amateurs, so that was a little mind game, little history feed with them. So shout out to you, Michaela Mayer, another victory for you. And look at her.
Oh wow,
respectfully, guys. All right, so but no, seriously,
thirsty? Are you guys so thirsty?
No response. No response from me, at least. A little thirsty, maybe a little bit. Hey,
thirsty.
Nothing wrong with that mirror, but seriously, man, female boxing is going in a great direction right now. Really, really excited for it. Speaking of which, I know there's a fighter that we've had on recently, and we're really excited about her and her development. But the thing is, and I think that's for a lot of fighters, a lot of female fighters as well, is they're not getting signed. So Carmen Vargas, find out at Houston, Texas. My brother Hopper and I, we did a show with her. Check it out, man. Carmen Vargas. Hopefully she'll be back soon.
Marlene Esparza won yesterday too.
Yeah, she did. She, that was a tough fight. Speaking of,
what is she? Unify now?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Now,
was it Alvarez?
She's a champion now, and then I think Senaisa Superbad is the other champion, right? If I'm not mistaken. So that rematch could possibly happen.
105 and 108, and then Marlene fights at 112. So what the goal is, what Senaisa said,
Marlene Esparza.
Yeah, she wants to go ahead and she wants to fight. She wants to fight at 112 when they're both undisputed. So like when Superbad is undisputed at 108. Yeah, 108. Yeah, was it 108? Yeah, 108. And then when Marlene Esparza is undisputed at 112, then they'll meet at 112. So she said they'll definitely fight again. But to go undisputed is going to take a while. But hey, that's the fight people want to see. And again, female boxing is in a great place. Manny, what's your final thoughts?
Well, I got a couple of them. I'll do it real quickly. Congratulations, Tristan Calro defeated Santander Silgado via knockout. So he is back, shining in the zone. That was a very, very good on the prelims. Congratulations, Tristan. We were expecting a lot, and you are actually delivering. But once upon a time, there was a kid from DeSoto, Texas, had it all. Champion, money, everything you think of. Accident kind of held back his career. He came back. He had proven himself. He's still on top. This coming up next week, he will be fighting Ugas to get the unification bout. Cuban, that it's got a lot to gain, nothing to lose. Is he the one that will put a stop to Charlo? Going to be very interesting. I don't know if I'm going to make it in our backyard in my Jerry world. I was supposed to be out of town, but I am going to try to make everything possible to be there. If not, then we're going to be watching DeSoto in the house. Lots of love for Ugas. A lot when it comes to that ban that was lifted for Ugas. He wins this fight. Whoa, what an amazing. But at this particular time, I think we have hopes for the local one to continue to make an impact, continue to unify 147 pounds en route to get to that major fight that we always been dreaming of. And it's like one of those dreams that, you're never close to it. Is this the opportunity after this fight that we may see Crawford and Spence? I don't know. And I hate to start digging into this because we're all bored, too redundant to this. But at the same time, I am excited that we'll be going to be able to see a unified 147 pounds.
We're
Pow.
Final thoughts. That hurt. But no, man, great show. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Really appreciate it. And, it's awesome to have the support and to talk boxing with my brothers. And for us fans, it doesn't stop. They have another great fight coming up this weekend, like my brother Manny was saying. And hopefully you guys get a chance to be there in attendance. If not, hopefully you guys get a chance to watch it. But, support these great fights, these fights that are coming up. And, there's always going to be fights and woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I wish this would have happened. When you get an opportunity to get a fight like we're getting,
that's what we can get, man.
That's what we can get, man. And it's a great ride, and we're glad to be part of it. And thank you guys for joining us on another Sunday. Be looking out for another show next Sunday. We out.
HCP en la casa. Vivo.
It's Maestro A. It's Kenny T. I'm back in New York City after a weekend in Las Vegas.
And we got Power Punchers episode 2, episode dos. Hit that like button as you come in.
It's your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. You know what time it is. It's time for the shoot.
Everyone, welcome to Al Chile. We got my partners in crime, Run PMC and Nopal with us and visiting us for the first time. Al Chile means keeping it
style real. Boxing. Thanks to those joining me live. Those that be joining me here on Archive. I've been joined by the new co-host of ATP, Nancy, from the Boxing Republic.
It's my birthday, and then obviously, Red says to me, these are my girls. You have to make sure you do the interview for them. I said, you know what? Even though it's my birthday, we'll do it. No problem.
Oh, you're amazing.
So appreciate you. Thank you so much.
The All-Star panel, the round table, number 58. Really good weekend.
Seguimos en vivo. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Como siempre, Mari Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Hey.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should.
Welcome to the Ringside Reporters Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we're going to talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib.